We back. Oh, it sent out a notification. Hopefully y'all get it. Let's see. Let's go to Instagram. I'll turn myself down. Turn my music up. Turn my headphones down. So wait for some people. Oh. I'm over here talking like Instagram was actually live. Okay, there goes Instagram. I know I said about 7:30. It's about 8:45. It's okay. Hello, people. We're gonna discuss some things today. I know I've been gone for a while. I was locked out on my Instagram. um, so what happened was I was trying to unfollow people and just follow people that follow me. So that was a whole mess. That actually, yeah, don't download those Instagram things that say unfollow and follow this and follow that person. Unfortunately, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about popular news today. Some and maybe some topics and some subjects. Use celebrities as examples, as we always do in cardology. Actually joined Aquarius Maximus class today. It was pretty dope. So, and she actually discussed some things I really enjoy. Well, she always discuss stuff that I enjoy. But some things that you don't hear spoken about a lot. And I'll just start off kind of with that. Go to my notes here. Let me tell you how I've been also. I am not in Los Angeles no more. I am actually in North Carolina, which has been treating me pretty well. I've been working with a friend who does real estate. I've always tried. I've always talked about real estate. Always talked about wanting to do real estate, and so it's just kind of the perfect move. Let me make a post on Instagram that I'm live as well. So it kind of worked out to be the perfect move, and he's always asked me to kind of work with him. We worked together in college on a student group, which was called the Young Professionals of Brevard College. Called Young Professionals of Brevard College, and I was head of marketing with that, marketing and sponsorships with that group. And he became a millionaire after college. So
Anybody explain how you're supposed to get
which that success has led him to open up multiple businesses and led to me working with him now and having the ability, him having the ability to fund the current business that we do. That's on that be teaching everybody everything. That has allowed him to find some businesses that he does now, which real estate he's into. He has his own. I believe it's on what is it? Realtor office, if I'm not mistaken. He does loans, major loans, small loans, anything that you may need for anything personal. So he just did a dumpster company, and I am managing the shipping company here in Burlington, North Carolina, which is going okay. With any business, the first couple, months, days, weeks, it may not be the most profitable business, but hopefully we do get to that stage and start to make a profit that way. We can grow and build and open up in other places as well. So I'm gonna watch myself, make sure I turn the volume down. y'all questions. So it's turning out pretty good. And let me show you my spread. Actually, let me go ahead and do that so I can show you what kind of led to this opportunity. Because a lot of people talk about the cars, but it's you don't really get to know the cars until you get the experience in looking at your own cards and being able to learn from your own experiences. And that's kind of what Aquarius Maximus was talking about today, was making sure that learning your cards, but being able to read yourself, being able to look at celebrities and why we look at celebrities. I know I kind of said a lot, but that's the reason that we're always talking about celebrities, or we're referencing celebrities whenever we do the cards. Is for learning purposes. Without that, well, you can learn, I guess just by reading, but I have a lot of books. Let me show you some of my books. I'm getting to my spread. The Square of Seven, that is a good book to have. Actually, I don't have all my books with me. Destiny Cards, that is by Robert Camp. Your Birthday, that's kind of more of a summary. Love Cards is a deeper book. I kind of like that card. It has some great examples in that book. I think I have Nina's book here as well, the journal, Cardology journal. Shout out to Phoenix Soul. This is her book, writing down Be Your Own Peace, a self-help, self-guide daily tracker. Who actually, for the shipping business, I will be selling her candles at this business as well. So if you don't know, I am a person that always try to support other people, try to always support other businesses. So I don't have Nina's book up here. So even my teachers and people I learn from, I buy their products, I buy their material. I want to do business with you, If you have a business, I would love to source your products. Gina, who you've seen on this stream with me before on YouTube, I'm supporting her business. I have dope minerals being ordered, and I will have those products to sell in our current business here at the shipping business as well this week. So she just shipped those off. So I am the Three of Diamonds for those who don't know me, which is the opportunist. That's the same card as Diddy, our current president. So I kind of understand those cards without the negative bias sometimes, and also looking at these cards as you learn, there's going to be highs and lows of cards. There's going to be different types of energy that each card may use based upon their upbringing, based upon who they're raised around, okay, based upon their mother. So all of these particular cards are not the same all the time. Yes, we have the same outlay of life, the same 13 cards, the same karma cards, but we all use our cards in a different way. You're going to use your card in a different way, and you may vibrate higher than another card. So that is the beauty about the cards as far as learning the cards, is that you're reading karma as it plays out. What is your karma? Which card are you playing off of? And let me just, Donald Trump, he plays off the Ace of Spades a lot, which is the card of secrecy, the card of revealing things, the card of deeper meaning, esoteric information, and that you may not understand. Ace of Spades is all about self-awareness, self-development. When they say know thyself, that goes into health as well. So in order to learn yourself and to know yourself, you may even see a lot of doctors, they begin to ask questions about their own health, start to experiment on yourself. And that is the embodiment of the Ace of Spades. And so knowing the spread and knowing the cards helps you realize why these people do these certain things. What karma are they initiating for themselves, and what are they doing maybe even for other people a lot of times as well. So that's the beauty of the cards, is you get to peel back the layers of everybody and get to look at everybody's particular karma for who they are and what they're doing. And then that helps you read, okay, knowing your parents, knowing the people that surround you. One of the first steps when learning the cards is actually knowing your, after you know yourself, the first person you should know is yourself. Start with yourself. Was a great key that Aquarius dropped today in her class. And once you know yourself, once you learn yourself, you're able to look at other people and start to understand their cards. And I always talk about the books. They're in my link, in my Instagram link as well. Sacred Symbols, Mystic Test book. I wouldn't start with that. I would probably start with Sacred Symbols and What's Your Card, or the cards or the books that I would start with personally, or the software Seven Thunders and Aquarius Maximus software as well, which I have to hit her up because I can't log in no more. But let me go into why did I move to North Carolina? What were the signs that I read for myself to tell me, bro, you need to move to North Carolina, give up what you have going on in California. What I wanted to do in California was bring the cars to Cali, which again, your intuition, following your intuition, because I could have, but I'm not really a people person. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, all three diamonds aren't the same. Janet Jackson, the three diamonds. How many interviews do you see of Janet Jackson? You don't see her out in the public like a P. Diddy or like a Trump. She also kind of gravitates and plays more to the Seven of Hearts, Ace of Spades. I believe she is the Seven of Hearts. Seven of Hearts don't mind playing the background. They don't mind, not being out in the public too much unless they have to, unless they're out teaching, which they may gravitate and be playing off that nine of clubs, which is the teacher, which is in their spread. And let me show you what I'm speaking about, because I hate talking and it sounds like jargon about, sounds like something that only I would know from having inside information, right? So let me go to the spread so you can kind of understand and follow where I'm coming from, right? Because I can do this all day and you're not going to know what I'm talking about. And I hate that, So first and foremost, if you're new, if you're not new, hello, welcome. Glad to see you all here. Solar return tomorrow. I'm so excited. Happy birthday. Turning 38. We can look at your cards if you want to. I would do that. That's why I'm here today. So this is the light spread. This is where you start at. Can you all see it? Do I need to make it bigger for you all? YouTube, I can't see your comments at the moment because I'm on this screen. Well, I can kind of go back. Okay, there I go. Thinking going to Raleigh. North Carolina is growing. I love North Carolina because of the ability and the affordability of North Carolina. I am in a location where you can buy land for $7,000 to $15,000. Where I'm from, back at home in Greenville, South Carolina, it's one of the fastest growing states in the South, and land around that there is between $30,000 to $100,000. You can still get it at an affordable rate in North Carolina. I know North Carolinians, don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. But the cat's out the bag. It is very affordable here. So that's why I do like North Carolina, because of the affordability and the range to live in between a major city and still get your peace of mind, be able to grow your own food, all of those particular concepts, right? Which is, of course, the Ace of Spades. Goes into the Ace of Spades. So this is the Grand Solar Square. This is where we all want to know our spread, and this is the life spread before, and this is, I'll let it wait for the lag. And then this is the spiritual spread where everything is almost in perfection, before we came down. I actually teaching in class, and we talked about this from looking at the parents, your parents around you, how they relate to you. You can learn that a lot from the pure spread, the spread of perfection. Okay. And from this particular spread, this is where you really want to look at, who's born, like your mother, your father, your relatives, what are the placements of those people in your life, and what role do they play in your life? You want to look at that particular spread. But this is the life spread here, and I was just speaking about the Ace of Spades sitting Mercury, Neptune. As you know, Mercury, Neptune, spirituality, know thyself, knowing someone's purpose. What is my purpose? What is my goal in this particular lifetime? What am I supposed to do on earth? Okay, those are where those questions start. Whenever you see an ace, you look at desire. What is your desire? What are you meant to do on this particular earth? And with that, the Ace of Spades, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter card is the Jack of Hearts. So sometimes they learn from being of service to other people. Your jacks are very creative, very outgoing, but they are service oriented. Okay, they want to help. They are the what you have the king, queen, and then the jesters. They are somewhat of what you would call your jesters. And if you know the jesters, just kings and queens and those dynamics, they are the ones who are opening doors for other people, letting them in, entertaining them in some type of way, helping them out, guiding them, letting them know, introducing them to the king or the queen, right? So they are very powerful. So the Ace of Spades carry that in Jupiter from a learning standpoint and a introduction and the way they go throughout life. Like I said, every card is going to play each position a little bit different. One may lean more into that Jack of Hearts phase, and then also sometimes they can get in trouble because they also may hire people. They may hire people and want to know their purpose, and they may hire off of that ability, but they're not really supposed to. I have gave an Ace of Spades and gave his workers a reading. Even though it says not to do that, I also sometimes can say, I'm not here to control your destiny. I'm only here to answer your questions. Okay. And that's one of the topics Aquarius was speaking about in the class today. A lot of people go too deep into the cards. You're asking too many questions without just trying to understand and go based on your intuition. The cards is here to help your intuition, what you already know. When I'm not reading you, I'm just confirming what you're already thinking or what you're already going through, the location you are in life on this life spread. Okay, so yeah, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just confirming what you was already going to do, you know. So that also goes into relationships from Aquarius class she was speaking about earlier. We want to control our relationships. You know, is this good person good for me? Are they not good for me? What does your intuition say? Because you're going to go through the karma anyways. That's one reason I don't like doing relationship readings, because you're going to do what you're going to do anyways. Whether I tell you what to do, you're going to play the karma anyways, right? So I will give relationship readings, but I do prefer people to be with each other and like together. I will look into a spread to see where and why a person may have came into your life and give you that particular understanding. But it's not something I like to do all the time, but it is right there. Trust me, I can see it without even. And don't tell me what's going on before you get your reading. I hate that. Do not tell me, because I would rather, because that's fun. That's my fun from the reading. That is my gift, is being able to see it and having my wow moments. You know what I mean? What's your man from Clips? That's my favorite verse. So I do want to do a Twitch around music in the cards too, but Twitch is tripping. I'll try to get on Twitch earlier, but that's why I want to get on Twitch, is actually do music in the cards, because a lot of artists play into their cards as well. A lot of musicians, you know. I don't know if you ever heard the song, but I try to play it on my Instagram a lot. SZA actually played it the other day. And yes, SZA knows the card. Actually, Cat's out the bat, she's commented on Aquarius Maximus page, so that's how I know she knows the cards. But anyways, which is dope, right? But what is that song? Somebody knows the song. What is this? I know the song. Cardology, play the cards. Juice WRLD actually sampled the cards, sampled the song. Juice WRLD sample cards. Anybody know what is the wisest info you like or think you should give? What do you mean? Shape of My Heart by Sting is the song that Juice World and SZA played on her Instagram the other day. And like I said, so she knows the concept of the card, so she probably thinks it's dope. What is the wisest info you like or think you should give? Um, I am the Ace of Spades. I am in the Jack of Hearts. So what I give is based upon my experiences and the things that I've learned through esoteric information. So I'm being the Jack of Hearts, Ace of Spades. I'm here to do this, enlighten. So the Ace of Spades is the card of enlightenment. I am here to enlighten others, to give information. Um, like I said, there's highs and lows of the cards. There's the other three of diamonds that I know it's not popular, but Polite, who actually went to jail for pedophilia. And you can actually see that in the Jack of Hearts. FYI, Aquarius talked about the Jack of Hearts and pedophilia, and people playing on that particular card because that deals with kids. That's in Saturn. She talked about that in 2017. 2018 maybe, about that in the three of diamonds as something on the low side. On the high side, it is taking care of children, being a protector, being childlike, having fun, which I love to have fun. I actually was a teacher. I was actually a mentor to children. So you actually see that in the eight of diamonds, who transforms into the Jack of Hearts, who that's why they a lot of times they may even open up daycares, which my sister's an eight of diamonds. That's why I told her to do. Well, I confirmed that's what she wanted to do when she got her first reading from me. And from that day on, she really felt like that was her purpose. But I'm not. I was just confirmation for her, you know. So after I get rich, I get some money, I will help her do that, right? Because that is my Saturn card. I do feel like I am here to teach and guide and help those. And the Jack of Hearts can also be someone younger than you. So it may not just be children. It can be dealing with people that's younger and guiding people of younger age whenever you see a Jack of Hearts. So you see it in your spread and Mars or Venus, you can run into someone that's younger and they may need your help. So that is why the Christ principle is the sacrifice, you know, because you're sacrificing yourself for someone younger than you or someone that, you know, that could be younger than you. So that is why the Jack of Hearts is considered the Christ principle. That is what Christ did. He put himself on the Christ for other people, which is Drake's card as well. I actually have a video on YouTube, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, which I go through all their concepts and how they played their cards as well. So I feel like that is a part of my purpose, and what I'm here to give is just to enlighten other people, and not to be a sacrifice, but to help. You know, you're not sacrificing yourself when your cup is full, right? So this isn't a sacrifice for me because my cup is full of this information. I'm just here to give it. So let's go to my particular spread at 30. I was 34 when I got the call to come to North Carolina. And when I looked at my spread, it was like a no-brainer, to be honest. You know, this is where you want to get to when you're able to look at your spread and able to get your own confirmation. And moving here, I just did a real estate deal where I made the most money I ever made in my life at one time. You know, because I've been in other areas as far as business, and you know, I used to hustle, you know, fruit and hustle sea moss. The Ace of Spades like I said, deals with physical health as well, your personal health. So the enlightenment is also enlightening about yourself, your body, your health. Whenever you look at spades, you're speaking to your health. So so 34, I was 34 when I got the call. The guy that called me is a four of spades. Do anybody see where the four of spades is? I am the three of diamonds. I'm here. So I don't know. I'm looking on Instagram to see if y'all can see what I'm seeing. So I am here. See if let me see. Let me go back here. trying to find a pen. Edit layout. That's not what I want. I can't find a pen, but hopefully you all can see it, right? I am displacing the King of Hearts. That is what I'm displacing, the King of Hearts. And Mars, Mercury. That is where I was sitting at 34 when I got the call. Does anybody also kind of see what may have excited or gave me that call, or why somebody would call me? Anybody want to take a wild guess? I'll give you time. No, I'm the 3 of diamonds. I'm displacing the King of Hearts here. I got some berries, fruits and berries. It's on my health. No guess? No guesses? Okay. So I'm displacing the King of Hearts. So yeah, I was saying what would incite the move to California? Someone asked on YouTube, what would incite that move, or what would trigger that move from California for someone to want to go into business? Let me see if I can also maybe make it a little bigger as well. I don't know if y'all can see on Instagram. I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Looking at, there's also a clue in the sun as well. I don't know if y'all are able to see it. There's also a clue in the sun. But so that's 2 of those particular cards, 1 in the sun and then 1 in my spread. 5 of spades. Maria said the 5 of spades. Yes, the 5 of spades is a clue to move. Is a move of location. So the 5 of spades is traveling. Okay, can also be considered the earthquake card as well. So that would tell someone that you're going to be traveling this year. All right, and within that travel, that can be commercial, something business related to that. Why would something commercial or business related be connected to the 5 of spades? And actually, that's kind of and that's kind of like a double whammy for the 5 of spades as well. If you know the cards as far as the 5 of spades, and why would I say that deals with commerce as well, based upon the 5 of spades? What I'll go ahead and tell you the location of the 5 of spades. It is displacing the 5 of diamonds. I mean, the King of diamonds. So on top of the 5 of spades being the card of moving, it is also displacing the King of diamonds. And with that, it was some indecision there, because it is actually challenged by the 3 of clubs, right? You transform it to the Ace of spades. That's a good one. That's a good look. That is also a clue of a new job, right? Because when you're dealing with aces, it's new. It was very easy for me to make the decision after looking at this, but I was, trying to decide on what I wanted to do. Even took a pit stop in Arizona on the way. But yes, I also transformed into the Ace of Spades, which is a new job as well. So new beginning. So whenever you're looking at aces, you're looking at beginning, something new that is taking place. Okay. Also, you have the 5 of spades, and it's dealing with commerce, dealing with business, a business. It's displacing the King of spades. So you're going to be traveling to do business possibly, but you may have the indecision along that way as well. Also, let me see. I want to say when you're dealing with the 3 of clubs, you're dealing with the writing as well. I'm trying to think. Before then, I was writing down what I wanted to do. I'm trying to think that I'd write down anything with the shipping business. I have to go through my notes, and I will screenshot it and post it if I did. But I'm pretty sure. But my business plan was to do something with Amazon. LA, Los Angeles, California is a 2 of. I want to say California is a 2 of diamonds. I don't know if LA is a 7 of diamonds. What I would do for you all, I'll post up the locations in my. I have the location book in my email or my file somewhere. But I do know that Los Angeles or California is a 2 of diamonds. So it is with the 2 of diamonds, and you see the 2 of diamonds in Pluto, right? Also, so the person that called me to do the business is a 4 of spades. Anybody see where the 4 of spades is in the spread? Correct. That's the other one I was pointing to, the main one. I have a 2 of diamonds in Pluto. So someone called me to go in business with them, a partnership. Someone called me to go in business with me and to do a partnership. And their card is a 4 of spades. So, okay, Maria. So their card is a 4 of spades. And as you can see, the 2 of diamonds is displacing the 4 of spades. Why is that coming up? Adobe popped up. So I got something that popped up on my screen. Oh, okay. Another screen popped up. So the 2 of diamonds is displacing the 4 of spades. Whenever you see a 2 of diamonds, it is something where you are a will. 2 of diamonds is considered the wheeler dealer card. You would think that would be the 3 of diamonds. The 3 of diamonds is more of the opportunist, having opportunity. The 2 of diamonds is the wheeler and dealer, trying to get a deal or make a deal or going to partnerships with someone. A lot of 2 of diamonds if they don't have a business, they love working with other people. Okay, that is also dealing with contracts. Okay, so you're dealing with contracts, you're dealing with promises, you're dealing with agreements. One of the reasons you're dealing with contracts, promises, and agreements is because you have a 6 of club. There's a responsibility somewhere, okay? Keeping your word somehow with that 6 of clubs there. Now, also, 6s also deal with fate, deal with things that are somewhat destined. Whenever you're looking at the 6 of club, you always want to think what comes in the Mercury of the 6 of club is the 6 of spades. Okay, so there is something that is fated, that is taking place. There is an agreement, or you will be held to your word. Okay, and I've always said I was going to do a business with this person that I went into business with. So it's kind of like that karma. That's why I say, like, the opportunity will always come back around. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, when I first graduated college, I was working. He called me to work a business with him as far as a child daycare. That's the Jack of Hearts working again, right? He called me to work a daycare with him. He grew the business and ultimately sold the business. So he no longer needed me somewhat, right? So we've always had it. We've always stayed in communication. I had this idea, maybe working together and learning from each other. Like before he became a millionaire, I read Donald Trump's book, not knowing I was a 3 of diamonds. Just read his book randomly. That was one of the first books I read after college. And I was reading his book, and he was talking about real estate. And I started talking to him and diving more into real estate, gave him the wholesale play. He took that and made millions, long story short. And so, but from that, we've always stayed in communication, and he always gave me business advice and even always called me to do other businesses where I wasn't prepared before, and I really could have. Like, I had the credit, I had the money at that particular time. My credit isn't the best. Stay away from One United Bank, $1,000, 1,000% interest. I'm just telling you. But at that particular time, I could have did it, but I was focused on just the wrong things. I was hanging and doing around the wrong people. And one of the cards that speaks about being in the wrong situations, being around the wrong group of people, being influenced by other people, is the 5 of clubs and the 9 of clubs. So those are the cards that you want to look at for your children or whomever it may be, with them being influenced and also being around the wrong people whenever you're looking at those cards. But I have the 9 of clubs in my Saturn Uranus card. So that's dealing with friends, dealing with associations, right? 9 of clubs also needs backing. They need support from their groups and their associates as well, maybe more than the other cards may need. But yeah, I was just out doing whatever, trying to get rich quick type of schemes. But I was also selling CMOS or anything else I could, right? But long story short, so he called me, and what led me, or the clue to that, was that 2 of diamonds and the 4 of spades, and then the 5 of spades. So in Mercury, and especially the 5 of spades being in Mercury, right? That's communication, that's talking, that can be considered almost like an invitation as well, with a card like that in Mercury, you being invited to move somewhere. So once I seen that, it was kind of a no-brainer, as Secret Society also said, that Ace of Spades, there's going to be a transformation or a new job or new business that's going to come about at some point in time. And actually, the card for invitation is the Ace of Hearts. Whenever you see an Ace of Hearts in a particular person's spread, especially when it's in Mercury, they may be invited to a party. I learned that from a 8 of Spades, who actually always has the Ace of Hearts in Mercury. So I was actually with the person, like I said, learning the people around you, learning your friends, and reading their cards will teach you so much valuable information, man. Like information that a book is not going to tell you, or it may confirm what's already in the book. So 8 of Spades. So this person was having issues with the 8 of Spades, and they couldn't get in contact with them. And I was like, what is their card? So I look at the cards, and they had a Ace of Hearts in Mercury that day. Guess what they told him what they was doing, why they couldn't communicate with them? He had the Ace of Hearts in Mercury for that day. He got invited to a party, an invitation. It is going to be, it is on YouTube. So this is currently being recorded on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, this is also being recorded on YouTube. He got invited to a party. So that was how I learned about that invitation to around that eight of hearts. But again, I also learned it in one of the books. Let me see which one it was. I love this one as well. This it's not really a book, but it's kind of like an informational type of thing. I also go based upon this. I look at this a lot also. Let me see. No, it's not that one. Let me see. Is it this one? No. Large banquet table. That speaks of a banquet with the Ace of Hearts. Some have a cause to forget your money troubles. Serious quarrel. No, it wasn't in one of these. I forgot the reference, but this is also another clue. If you look at the Ace of Diamonds, that speaks of an important letter. All right, so this kind of gave me a clue, or you can use that particular clue as far as an important letter. If you look at the Ace of Diamonds, it says that also because they have a Queen of Diamonds in Mercury, and they are the ace. Like I said, ace is dealing with communication, talking, or invitation. Let me see if it's in Sacred Symbols. I know it's not in Sacred Symbols. Let me see if it's Mystic Test Book may have been where I've seen that at. Let's see. If you don't know the Mystic Test Book, it is good for card positions. That is what the Mystic Test book is good for. Card positions, knowing why a card is in a certain position, what does that card mean in that particular position. It also talks about 142857, which is the spiritual or sacred number. That is also what this is based upon as well, is 142857. Okay, which is a sacred number regarding to cardology. I went down the rabbit hole with that number as well because of this book. The Mystic Textbook also talks about astrology and the placements of astrology in this book. So the Ace of Hearts and Mercury, according to the Mystic Textbook, which is Odin Richmond, who is an Ace of Hearts. A wish for warm love, longing for affection from opposite sex, news from a friend near at hand, a telegram or telephone message. But there's a book that speaks towards that being an invitation. I can't find it right now. Well, here you go. It's in Venus on this one. A love letter, a letter of friendship, invitation to a party. Here you go. So Ace of Hearts and Venus. They may have had it in Venus for that day. It might not have been in Mercury. But when I seen it, I was like, oh, that's what that is. That's that energy, right? He got invited to a party. He had the Ace of Hearts that day. And as you know, the Ace of Spades the Ace of Spades has the Ace of Hearts actually as their Mercury card. So when I seen that, it just blew my mind. It just confirmed what the book was already speaking to. So these are the type of things and events whenever I talk about, reading the book and using the book. That's why a lot of times I also post what these books say. I actually don't post sacred symbols a lot. Yeah, I really don't post this book a lot, which I ain't gonna say I'll put it on the back burner. I just don't post it a lot because it gives little details. It doesn't go as in depth as some of the other books. It's not as wordy as far as the card positions as the other books, but it does give good context though. Like I said, I learned that energy and from based upon real life and based upon what actually happened. And through that confirmation is how I learned the energy of that Ace of Hearts in that particular position. There's also, like I said, the Ace of Diamonds is a letter. Ace of Hearts is a warm letter or a wish for love. I also learned that wish for love for warm love from the Ace of Hearts when someone, I think that was in the 52-day period with the Ace of Hearts. And people that seemingly suffer from emotional issues, from like schizophrenia or any type of mental illness, they are playing their cards almost to the T. And that was I felt someone asked what I'm here to learn or teach or give to people. That's what I wanted to do. That's why I was in California. I was going into mental health and psychology. I was a behavior specialist in California for a little bit of time, which is like an entry level. But I feel like that is the most important level when it goes into behavior health and to understand or into psychology. And that was actually with kids. And the reason I say that is because whenever you are a behavior specialist, you're with that child every day. You get to learn their cards. You get to learn their how they play their cards. I'm trying to think. I don't want to violate HIPAA, but I'm not in the field no more, right? But I learned so much. So I had someone I was mentoring at that particular time, and he comes to me. He's like, "Yo, I got a plan." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You got a plan?" He said, "I got a business plan. I got all this stuff written down." I was like, well, "What are you talking about? Let me see your business plan." So would you not believe this middle school kid wrote down how he was going to get his product, which was illegal, but he wrote down the plan of how he was going to get his product. who he was going to employ to sell his product, how much his product costs, and how much money he needed to maybe buy more product, or how much he was going to pay his friends to sell these products. And he had a king of diamonds in his 52-day period. That is what I mean by, like, the more you look at the cards, the more you learn people, and the more you look at these things, it just blows you away. And that's why I say, like, don't tell me what you have going on before I read the cards, because I'm looking for that, that voila moment, that oh my gosh type of moment. And I'm looking forward to that when I give you your reading, or based upon your response, what you bring back and what you tell me. I can't tell you how many times, I've given a reading just based upon a regular spread like I just did myself, and just the confirmations that I get. And that is the only reason I'm still here. I actually got a reading from Ra Ku, and I was telling him about cardology, and he was like, man, that's a good science. I heard about the science, but that's not going to give you enough information. You're going to want more. You're going to want more. You're going to want down to the day, which I do want more, in a sense, but I'm going to be honest. Cardology confirms all of that for me. It's not, I'm not left with wanting more sometimes because of that sweet taste that comes about. So I'm not looking or wanting or hungry for more a lot of times, because there's so much confirmation just within the cards, just within the spread, on a regular everyday basis. Just looking at the cards, I get that confirmation from you all whenever I do readings. So, but astrology is dope. I love astrology. I love the concept. And actually, as a reference, I used astrology to learn the cards, and particularly Vedic astrology to learn the cards, which I may post a little bit more. I posted in the past. I go ahead and give you a clue. Matter of fact, yeah. What is this channel? Whenever you're looking at the cards, you're looking at conjunctions. Let me just tell you. I'll say it again. Whenever you're looking at the cards, you are looking at conjunctions. No one probably has ever told you that before. Maybe they have. Maybe it's obvious. Maybe you already knew that. But whenever you're looking at the cards, you're looking at a conjunction, like the Ace of Spades. What is the conjunction of Mercury and Neptune? That simple. It really is that simple. Yeah, it is that simple. That is why cardology is the base of astrology, and how you can use cardology to learn more. Because from cardology, you don't have to guess what's the card meaning or what's that conjunction's meaning. The meaning is right in front of you in these 13 karmas. It's right in front of you. What does a Mercury conjunction look like? It's a 3 of hearts, or a Mercury and Gemini placement. It's the 3 of hearts. Mercury and Gemini, you can get someone that can be sexually fluid, someone that is talkative, someone that may meet someone from all walks of life. They may even travel. Travel may be good to them. Why is that? The result card is the 5 of spades, right? Looking at their friends, looking at their neighbors, asking a lot of questions, studious. What is that? The Ace of clubs and Mercury. Y'all get it? The Ace, 3 of hearts, Queen of clubs, being very creative, being able to make money from having your own business in some creative way, or from the information that you may receive, is in your face. Someone asked me, what if the Ace of hearts is your environment? What is your environment? Your environment card, for those who don't know, is the opposite of your displacement card. Okay. Let's say, let me see. At 34, my environment card, I look at it from my position. Actually, if you don't mind telling me your age, we can look at it, or tell me your card and your age, we can look at it for you. And I didn't forget someone else asked about the card. I just need your birthday. Okay, you told me Two of Diamonds turning 38. I ain't gonna forget about you. I got you. Are they still here? First and foremost, they are not here, so I may go into it briefly since they left, but not too deep. Yeah, let me know your age, and I can tell you a little bit more because it's going to give me your age and your card. What is the Ace of Hearts? Someone on Instagram said the environment owes you. Yes, in a sense, the environment is a clue to possible gains that you may receive or help in some type of way. That is kind of Robert Kemp's terminology of the card that owes you. Um, is considered your environment card. And 36 and a four of spades. Look at that. I was just talking about the four of spades. It's the reason you're here. Um, so you have some of those potentialities that I spoke earlier about the four of spades. The four of spades can be the on the high side. That can be the builder. That's why the four of spades I was talking about. He made his millions in real estate. And on the low side, that can be the kept person that is looking to be kept, or they actually have the six of diamonds that is pushing them. So it's either you are getting paid from the things that people owe you, from you reap what you sow, or you're dealing with that karma of trying to get paid, and on the low end, it can seem like you are on the receiving end of being kept, right? And so you have the Ace of Hearts actually pushing you. So that's a different that adds to that environment card. That is not just your environment; it is also your moon card, almost in a sense, and it is pushing you, right? So this is looking at possibly meeting new people, meeting new friends, maybe even a relationship or rekindling a relationship in some type of way, right? Having to make sure that you being open to meeting new people. There could be an invitation there for you as well. Maybe a going somewhere, or invitation to a party, meeting new friends. The Ace of Hearts, what people don't know a lot of times, is also somewhat as an esoteric energy. Is also dealing with people who are somewhat popular, or that people who could be established in some type of way. So surrounding yourself with the right people, right? So not just an invitation, but surrounding yourself with the right group of people that could be of good influence monetarily for you as well, right? Let's say if you needed some money or you was going into business, right? This would be the perfect energy of meeting that new person or meeting someone, like he said, where that particular energy owes you. You can meet someone that has the ability to maybe give you or help you in some type of way, right? With it also being your moon card, it can also look at how are you dealing with relationships? Are you in a relationship? Are you looking for a new relationship? How do you deal with because the Ace of Hearts can be a card of loneliness sometimes as well. I don't want to be by myself. Sometimes those aces, those twos are dependent upon other people, so you don't want to be dependent. You want to be, self-sustaining, self-sufficient. So the Ace of Hearts will push you to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, but also remind you of the importance of partnership as well. Aces are all about their self until they start talking about a relationship. Trust me. They can do it all by themselves. I am independent. But when it comes to a relationship, they want love. They want companionship, right? So looking at companionship, your love life, and those particular things. And so with it, displacing the four of spades as well, You can possibly be, if you are advanced or older, which you are a little older, it can be counseling, having a place of counsel or giving counsel to someone as well, or around a group of people, being invited into, I wouldn't say a fraternity, but like I said, being invited into a group or somewhere to teach and maybe even give, right? Could also be you giving to other people in some type of way, or being able to profit from teaching or in a social setting, right? Um, I know a four spades who he does group work, right? He does classes. He does a lot of classes, uh, and that's outside of what how he built his money and his empire. He takes on students and he helps them out, right? So it can be a one-to-one type of situation, or maybe a group of people as well. But definitely the power of being around people, is going to be important for you at this particular time. And let's just confirm it. I love confirmation, because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'm right all the time. So let's go look at some software and see what Robert Kemp has to say about it. Say, yeah, that happened. Which part happened? So I'm gonna go to the software. Viewtown. No one needs to worry. Yep, life coaching and did some events and planning a retreat. Oh, that's dope. 36. So we're looking at 36. So what? Oh, he doesn't tell the moon positions actually. He may have this book though. Robert Kemp doesn't tell the moon position on his software, but he may in his book though. Yeah, he actually. Oh, we can look at it from an environment because that's your environment, right? So this is New Year, new beginnings in the area of personal relationships will bring many rewards and blessings to you. Whether you would start a new love affair or help bring a new child into this world, Ace of Hearts. I mentioned children. Don't want to be wishing children on people, but I actually had someone that had an Ace of Hearts and Neptune. Definitely told them they was going to have a kid, and they had a kid. This is time for you to discover just what helps you love yourself the most. So I'm self-love. This is likely to be a year of joy, pleasure, and the focus will be on you, your needs, attracting to you other people that will fulfill you on the deepest level. So he just kind of was surface level in the book. That's why I said knowing the spread and knowing the cards can help you you know, outside of just reading the books, because some of this information they give you is somewhat surface level. So meeting new friends and reconnecting with a romantic interest. That's dope. That is dope. That's exactly what the Ace of Hearts is. So best of wishes to you and using that energy at its highest level for sure. Yeah. I moved in with the three of diamonds at 34. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy, right? Yeah, that three of diamonds at 34, her moving. See also that Ace of Spades transforms into the Ace of Hearts for them, for sure. So with their transformation, the changes that they have at 34, they have that Ace of Hearts for them in that position. Now they have a new relationship or love life around that particular time. 34. I just turned 35, so no, I haven't. All right, there may have been somebody. There may have been somebody, but it was more of a fantasy more than a love interest. Is that I want a baby though? Be careful. Be careful what you wish for now. Be careful for what you wish for. It could definitely happen around this particular time, for sure, for sure, for sure. Ace of Hearts, just don't play with it. Let's see what else. Anybody else? Any other questions? After this, let me, in case they come back in, I'll look at the two of diamond turning 38. I'll go ahead and, in case they come back and look at this, I have to answer, I guess, a few more questions, and then we'll go into, I guess, popular news. Next, news of the week and things that's been going on. 38. They said it was turning 38. The two of diamonds at 38. What's going on? In the sun position, they're not even here to get that good energy. So Aquarius actually talked to someone in the sun position. So the sun position is going to make a person, they walk into a, I love this story that's why I'm pulling this from. But you walk into a bank and there was nobody there before you came, and there's just a flood of people that come in right after you, right? So it's like feeling like a celebrity. It's like going somewhere and just being that person, being that random person that someone asked for help. That's why the Eight of Diamonds sacrifices into the Jack of Hearts. Also challenged by the Queen of Spades and the King of Spades. You are the expert at this particular time with that particular energy. Anytime you're in the sun, you are going to be seen as the expert, the go-to person for that particular time. Or you can also get imposter syndrome. Like, why am I getting this attention? Why am I, feeling, may not feel entitled, but why are people giving me these particular titles at this particular moment, right? That is part of what we call the mystic triangle of going Jupiter, and that play with the sun position. It is a place of a time of importance, right? There's a spotlight that they will have and they will feel at this particular time. Like I said, it can almost feel sacrificial as well. So you're going from the sun, and then at 40, you're going to be in Jupiter, the most blessed position. So this is a time of culmination of things coming into your life and possibility of feeling blessed or getting blessed. And let's say if your credit is a 540, there could be something that can be done to help you out. You may get that call or have the ability to get a lawyer to remove it, and all of a sudden you got a 640, 630, and now you're able to get financing for a home. You can't get financing for a home at 630, 640, okay? And everything could possibly just work right because you're in that place of blessings. But also what comes with great power, what Spider-Man says, is great responsibility. Okay, so this is also a time of responsibility and taking responsibility. No time for slacking at all. What else is there? The Queen of Spades in Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn. That is someone on your tail. That is critique at an all-time high on the job. So you want to dot your T's, dot your T's, cross your T's, and dot your I's as well. Especially with the King of Clubs and the Queen of Clubs. This is an interesting spades. You have the King of Clubs and the Queen of Spades and Saturn. This is pressure. I love this quote that I heard earlier. Um, what do you say? Pressure is a privilege, right? So this is a time of pressure, but also a time of privilege for you to be able to have the pressure on you. And if you haven't done the work, this is why this is called life, the game of life. How did you play your cards? Depending on what you did before, is going to determine on how you play these cards this year, because it's a very important time. And you have the Eight of Spades and Jupiter for you on the spread as well. So it can be some tough situations to get. It can be a uphill battle to get what you want, but great rewards on the other side. You know, the Eight of Spades is a fight. You're gonna have to fight for what you want. It's one of the things that Aquarius Maximus mentioned earlier in class was the Eight of Spades. I think that is Amazon's card. They went through debt for how many years? People are like, oh, no, I believe there's 10 of diamonds. Let me go see. Is they the 10 of diamonds? Yeah, Amazon is the 10 of diamonds. People look at the 10 of diamonds as the most auspicious and the most blessed position, but you don't know the hardship that come with that. The fight, the battles, because they have an eight of spades in Mercury. It's not the easiest location to be. People go broke. People go homeless. She mentioned talk about Steve Harvey. He's a 10 of diamonds. He was homeless for years before he got to where he was. And that's probably why people look at him and he feel like entitled, or he has to fight for what he won, and that whole battle with gosh, who was he talk? Who is he having issues with? Bernie Mac. Because people don't know the fight it took to get there. He probably always felt like he had to battle someone, or felt like somebody was hating. That 10 of diamonds can feel paranoid as well. That paranoia can seep with them, So that could have been a little instance of paranoia that came with him. So people look at the 10 of diamonds like, oh, that's the most blessed position. You're gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna be blessed, but don't get it twisted. It's not an easy position to be in. Oh, I didn't share the screen. Oh, my bad. I'm not sharing that tab. I'll share this tab. So this is where I was speaking from for those on YouTube. My bad. And Instagram. Now that you all see, I was speaking about the two of diamonds, as you can see, is in the sun. The reason I was speaking about that eight of spades is in that fight is the eight of spades is in Jupiter for this spread. So this is also why it's important to, outside of the software, to kind of have the life spread, because you're going to get way more information from knowing the life spread and looking at the life spread than you would from just having the software and just looking at what the software has, because the software is pulling from this life spread. This is what's giving them all the information. So if you have this, you're more equipped to further explain. I do like Robert Count, because if you look at his software, he does tell you the karma cards, which when I first got it, I didn't see that. So the karma cards are the cards on the left and the right. The one that is supporting, the one that is on the right is the one that's supporting. The one on the left is the challenge. So, which Robert Camp software does tell you that for each card in the spread. But if you don't know to look there, then you don't know. So it does give you a little bit on the position. So you do know the position to a certain extent. But to get the full view, you definitely want to look to this life spread. I have cardologycoach.com is a website that I will be journaling on a little bit more. I need to get into a routine of that. I'll probably do that on Sundays. I would probably do this one day during the week a little bit more, because I'll probably do the live streams on the weekday and probably journal at cardologylifecoach.com more. which I used to journal a lot more. I just, you you have all these tools and you just have to, put them in order on use. But you got to make sure one tool is straight before you can jump to another. So, and then also I have PTCYD, which is play the cards you dealt, which is a clothing location. So I do want to have clothing around these cards as well. I feel like, being able to wear your card, represent who you are. I feel like that's what fashion is supposed to be. And what a lot of people don't even understand that is the concept of fashion as well. It's a representation of you. That's why people love brands. That's why people love polo. So what's more cooler than having the cards or an astrology line for me? But that's also what made me respect Dior. Is the fact that they use a lot of astrological concepts, and the owner of Dior used to use tarot cards. He was also in metaphysical practices as well. So cardologylifecoach.com is where I would blog a lot more, just writing out concepts, maybe talking about my week and just celebrity news and those particular things, which I just did this August the 8th. 2 days ago, I posted this. So thank you for asking, because I am trying to get back in the groove. So I haven't been on here in almost 2 years. August the 22nd, so almost 2 years. I haven't really been on this website or promoting it much. But it does have the pure spread, light spread, and some summaries and some concepts that I've spoken about before. I talked about my age at 26, about me writing. I had the 3 of clubs in Jupiter, how that affected me. Some people have ways that they, I think writing is important in a law skill, and that people should really value. That is, I think, what Thoth represented, and the magic behind writing and the magic of having letters is you write out your destiny. I believe there's multiple ways that you can divine your future, or which I guess divination, or have prophecy, or write your own prophecy, or write your own script. Is writing and acting it out. And can someone tell me why I would say writing and acting it out? And this is from a life experience, from my own personal life experience, but can also be seen through the cards as well. So I just told you writing, but what is acting? Why would I say acting after writing? Can anybody guess? Anybody guess? Why would I say writing and acting out? People may look at people crazy if they was to be acting something out. But I look at it as writing your script and almost divination. Jack of Spades. I like that. Jack of Spades. That's a good one. Secret Society. That is Secret Society _18 on IG. Know some things. Jack of Spades for sure. But it's also, there's a clue. If you know that, then you can also see something else in relationship to the Jack of Spades. So I'll go ahead and tell you. The Jack of Spades, what does the Jack of Spades transform into? Anybody know what the Jack of Spades transform into? I know y'all know what Jack of Spades transform into. The 3 of Spades, appreciate that, my friend. The Jack of Spades transforms into the 3 of Spades. And what is the moon card for the Jack of Spades? The 3 of Clubs. So you have writing and you have acting right there in your face. The key to opening up doors, divining on your life, secret information, the key to opening up doors, the key to the future, and the Jack of Spades is sitting in Mars, Uranus. Okay, so that is a something that I learned personally at 26. That's when I started writing, and I learned the importance of writing and manifestation. That's where I'm looking for manifestation, the ability to manifest. Um, that's why they say the Jack of Spades is opening up doors. Okay, so you're opening up doors to the possibilities of the future. That is creativity, creative writing comes with the Jack of Spades. One of the most creative cards is what they will tell you in the deck. That's why they're opening up portals. That's why hip hop, music, all of those things, movies, you know, comes through the Jack of Spades, the gatekeeper. That's why the gatekeepers are the Jack of Spades. They hold the key to your future, right? They hold the key to the Queen of Spades and the King of Spades, which is God and mastery. The King of Spades is referred to as God. The reason they do that is if you look up what Vulcan is and look at where Saturn is. That's why they worship Saturn. They be playing in our face, man. The worship of Saturn. Why do you think they worshiping Saturn? Astrology isn't going to point. It's not going to tell you that. It's not going to tell it to you like that. You know, you just think of Saturn like, oh, builder, the restrictions of life. You know, that's why I said I don't really get hungry for astrology because like everything is here on a way deeper level. They're out here playing. They think they got you looking at a chessboard and these mystery systems, but it's really a cardology board. This is the real chessboard. They're not playing chess, they're playing cardology in your face. God, the King of Spades, perfection, the one that knows it all. When you're looking at the Joker, you know, you're looking at, they'll say the Ace of Hearts, King of Spades, and also I would say also the Jack of Spades. But movies comes with the Three of Spades. That's acting, movies, multi-talented. Comes from that particular card is the Three of Spades. Look at Dame Dash. That's why he's so into movies. That's why he's into writing his own script. That's why he's always into independence. The United States is what? A Jack of Diamonds. Independence, writing their own script. You're not telling them what to do. They're telling you what to do. That's why we have Hollywood. That's why America has Hollywood. They are a Jack of Diamonds. What is the Jack of Diamonds supported by? Hip hop. That's why hip hop is so important. What is hip hop? The Jack of Clubs. It's in our face. Now it's in your face. The Jack of Clubs is the card of hip hop. The Jack of Clubs supports what? The Jack of Diamonds. The Jack of Diamonds sits in whose house? The Three of Spades spiritually. So that's why celebrities and those people, you know, that's why movies, a lot of those things that happens in movies, those are keys to the future. They're writing our future. They're writing what's going to happen. That's why it seems so crazy, you know, for those of us who may be into those theories and conspiracies and those things. That's why movies are so important. That's why writing is so important. That's why hip hop is so important. That's why music is so important. These people are divining on their own lives and also on what's taking place in America as well. They're writing the script or revealing certain things that's going to happen. They are gatekeepers. That's why they're considered gatekeepers. The jesters of life. They're making fun. They're entertaining us. That's why, like I said, jacks are entertainment. The entertainment industry. The Jack of Diamonds, America. We are very entertaining. The Simpsons, a good one. What is the call? Aquarius was like, don't. I love the conversation we had with Aquarius because she was like, don't look at it too much. Look at the surface level. But I do see the power in names and those things. But correct, the Simpsons. That's why you can look at the Simpsons. They're writing the future. They are gatekeepers. They're looking at the future. There is an astrologer or a cardologer over there at the Simpsons. I guarantee it. That's why also when I talk about how you play your cards, when you play your cards at a high level, it is hard to skip the karmas that takes place with these cards. You're not going to just skip over the karmas on a high level or a low level. It's just impossible. You're going to play the cards you're dealt. Sting, remember that. Remember Sting in the song Shape of Your Heart. Go back and listen to that song. But yeah, the Simpsons and all of those things, right? That's why those things are important. Speaking of, I'll kind of, I ain't gonna end it here. Let's look at some what celebrities should we look at? Let's look at how old is P. Diddy right now? Let's see if we can see anything in his cards. That'll be the first person. Then after P. Diddy, we'll go to Cash Doll. She just had some relationship things that happened with her. We're just going to look at her. We're not going to look at her mate. We may look at her mate another time, who he had a Instagram post of him walking out. And Clarissa Shields, we'll look at her too. Clarissa Shields, P. Diddy, and Cash Doll. And then we will end it there. And if there's anybody you want to look at, any information you want to look at next week, we can do that. So when this trial happened, P. Diddy was 54. I think so he turned November the 3rd or the 4th. So where was he at? We'll look at both, because I guess the what's the name? The trial kind of was the conclusion and the judgment was when he was at 55. But we'll look at it from this standpoint as well, right? So 34. Look at there, P. Diddy's displacing Jack of Diamonds, which is the United States. So that's why he's getting all the attention. That's why he's so popular in the news. He's displacing the Jack of Diamonds. The Jack of Diamonds is the mayor as well. Jack of Diamonds gets a lot of attention. They're salesmen, right? So either he was going to be very popular this year or somehow get a lot of attention regardless if it was criminal or not. A lot of times Jack of Diamonds are sneaky as well. So is dealing with money. You got to pay to play a lot of times. You're going to have to cash out. So what also comes with that is the 10 of diamonds. We talked about the attention that the 10 of diamonds get. Two of spades is a fated relationship that kind of took place. So the attention of a relationship or a partnership that kind of took place gave him a lot of attention there. And then having to spend some money on that relationship. So there was going to be some money or money involved, a lot of money between him and the relationship and the fated event. And trouble. The Eight of Spades, like I said earlier, is a fight in public. The Ace of Hearts. Eights deals with a lot of times the public or industry in some type of way, or a business, but Hearts deals with people. You're dealing with people when you're dealing with the Eight of Hearts. Eight of Hearts can be people persons, or they can go into a Great Depression as well, right? So there was going to be hardships that kind of took place. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. So it was going to be some hardships that kind of took place for him. And gossip, scandals. Seven of Clubs is scandals, right? So Saturn, scandals, lies, gossip was going to be kind of a struggle for him. If I was reading his card and had to tell him, like, you're going to have to watch what you say. You're going to have to take responsibility of what you say. And it's not going to be nice. Seven of clubs is the card for is the card for scandals. It is also the card that usually supports the eight of diamonds when they're up there. So a lot of times with the eight of diamonds comes a lot of um, people talking about them, a lot of gossip, a lot of contradictory or people going against what they personally believe. So this is because somebody is going against your own personal belief systems and you having to take responsibility for something that you may believe or trying to rectify something you believe. So that can end up with you combating against someone that may be an expert in that field or someone that may have power within that particular field or whatever that subject or that topic is, but you taking that getting a lot of attention or making you become the center of attention. So him having to deal with his past actions, and look at that, the eight of spades, right? And eight of spades is usually six Saturn, which we know Saturn can hold you back, right? It can be hindrances. So that can be something hindering you based upon what the public may think or what people are saying about you. Um, and with him being the three of diamonds, the jack of clubs there, dealing with institutions, hip hop music, right? Dealing with his philosophy of what he personally believed could either be his downfall or could have been the thing that may have helped him out. But definitely the six of diamonds with repaying your debt. So it was something that he owed to someone based upon that Pluto and him getting all that attention, and then also the music industry or a personal belief system that he has. He's going to be in debt, right, with that. And the king of spades, like I said earlier, the king of spades and the queen of spades is going to be critique. You're going to be the center of critique, or you're going to be critiquing other people. And so he got a lot of critique around those particular things. With him displacing the jack of diamonds, he's going to be transforming into the ace of clubs. So information is going to be information that either comes out revealed, or or hacking, right? Ace of clubs can be something getting hacked of yours. So if you know, jack of diamonds, United States cybersecurity is going to be very important for just that jack of diamonds overall. So making sure your information is safe. So they probably went through his computers, went through his files and everything else, right? And his family, that was probably one of his biggest concerns, with that being his moon card, and that with him being bisexual and all those particular things, his kids, his family is probably what that information and everything coming out probably broke his heart around his family. Then going into 55, where he got the judgment, right? He has the three of spades. He's in the crossroads based upon those debts and those repayments. So there's a debt that he had to repay at this particular age. It was kind of no escaping that from him. And then him being at the crossroads, being in judgment, and him being, like I said, three of spades is TV, too hot for TV, right? Making the bed too hot for TV. I crap myself up. But so yeah, that was going to be, it's going to be publicized in some type of way, right? And definitely being scolded for the things that he had to pay back. And the seven of diamonds can be financial hardships. So it has seven of diamonds, jack of diamonds, and the six of spades. So money is going to change for him in some type of way. So is it going to be good or bad? But relating to that, he was going to have to pay. And that we know that's the United States card. But honesty, being honest with his money, being honest around the seven of clubs, which he just had. So him having to repay or fated events around that, and he was going to lose some money regardless. This is a time where he can try to protect himself as much as possible, but money was going to change for him. So, of course, he lost deals. And it could have been a past event or something he did in the past that made Mercury, Venus, Mars, he pissed somebody off, maybe in his past, right? That's what he's paying for, and could be the reason that he's lost a lot of his money and financial changes for him. And I would say move your money into somebody else's name. Right, as well, because you just gonna have to pay. There's no way getting around it. This is fated. This is karma. He's dealing with karma. It's nothing else. No one else he's dealing with. This is his own karma. And look what comes after that six of diamonds. Karma around women, right? There's a woman, a powerful woman, a woman he thought probably, didn't think was powerful, but she probably had some people in some high places, right? This six of spades, six of diamonds. I wouldn't say, like, hey, man. With the nine of diamonds, nine of spades, Lord, this is 55 is horrible for him. I ain't gonna lie. This is a bad spread diamonds are good, but you got nines and sixes. If you've been a bad person in the past, if you owed anybody, you just no way. Nine of diamonds and Saturn, yeah, that is losing money. Let's see what Robert Kemp has to say about that. That was, dang. I just did this because it was closer. Oh, my bad. It's too many years. Like I said, I don't like to sound like I'm just talking. Six of spades, Mars. This period can bring, in Mars's lawsuits, this period can bring the settlement of a lawsuit or some dealings with men, piss somebody off. This card indicates steady employment and steady health, and neutralizes any influence that promotes change. If you are involved in a legal matter, rest assured that outcome will be strictly just in all ways. You should be careful of all aggression, action, expression now, as this powerful karmic influence promises that you will get back exactly what you put out. Karma. He pissed somebody off. Lawsuits. Mars the software will always mention lawsuits when it's in Mars. It's always going to mention lawsuits. The seven of diamonds can sometimes mention lawsuits or restrictions around money as well, or losses. This period can bring in an unexpected expenditure or loss of money that leaves you feeling poor and afraid. Like I said, it's just bad. Your own impulses or extravagant spending may be at root of this. This is not a good influence for speculation, gambling, or any get-rich-quick schemes. So anytime you have a seven of diamonds, this is what it's going to reflect. Like I said, just not good at all. Six of diamonds, Jupiter, displacing the Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades is the legal system. Queen of Spades, King of Spades is law. Eight of diamonds is law. Either the law of God or the law of the public. What's taken around you, like I said, with the seven clubs being in the sun, you're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of people. Queen of Spades challenging you. That is higher law. I did a post earlier, maybe a year or two ago, and it was a whole bunch of women, and she was had a gavel, hitting the gavel, and I said, that's the Queen of Spades in all essence. The woman with the gavel, judgment. Kings are under judgment at all times. It's under high critique and high judgment. That's why I said with someone earlier with that Queen of Spades, that is critique. I think they had the Queen of Spades and Saturn with that too. Who was that? Whoever I just looked at. The Queen of Spades and Saturn, there's critique, getting judged for what's taking place. So you have the Six of Diamonds displacing the Queen of Spades, which is the judge. You owe somebody. You are getting judged, and that is karma, right? So that is why I said that. So during this period, you may receive payments owed to you by others that will contribute to your financial success. That's why sometimes the software, you got to know this is karma. Either it's getting received or you owe somebody. So in this essence, if I was giving a reading to someone, I wouldn't say receive with the Queen of Spades. You can receive money, but it is karma more than 9 times out of 10. It's not just you receiving, it is also financial debt. It can be karma as well, something that you may owe, right? Allow yourself to receive at the same time. Your best success comes from remaining constant and from being open to compromise and adjustments. That's what a compromise. That's where you're paying your debts of what you owe as well, paying your bills. So taxation is the 6 of diamonds. That's why they know that everybody feels the karma of taxation. That's why it's so easy for them to tax us. And adjustments within the context of your existing business agreements. Avoid speculation and gambling during this period. Just keep giving to others. Okay, it said it. Keep giving to others and watch the returns keep coming in. So it was karma. He had to give. He had to pay. It was no getting out of that. Especially with a Queen of Spades. That's why I said a powerful woman or the presence of a woman. He was going to pay for the karma that took place. This card brings disappointment. That's that 9 of diamonds. So when I seen the 9 of diamonds, that would have made me sick. But 9 of diamonds and Saturn, that's not a good time. This card brings disappointment and finances related to ill health and death of someone. I was just giving a class to talking to someone about the 9s can be a loss, especially we kind of talked about it earlier, the 10 of diamonds, but that 9 of hearts and Pluto. That's why you see a lot of celebrities and why you see family members sometimes. They lose family, they lose friends, they lose pets when they get famous. Not by happenstance or coincidence, because they reach that 10 of diamonds, that can be death that comes with that, a loss of something, It is just what the card says. It's not coming from me. This card brings disappointment and finances related to ill health or the death of someone. There could be trouble with inheritance or money spent on health care or funeral. Any extravagance or speculation are bound to bring difficulties now. Any deviations from fairness and legitimate transactions will bring heavy consequences. So that is why when I looked at this spread and you got 2 9s, 2 6s, a 7, man, a jack, like, yeah, that's a tough time, right? This influence can bring disappointments in work, labor relations, humanitarian efforts, or a real estate deal, but only if endings implied here are restricted by you. Cautious in any of these areas during this period. And this is with the 9 of spades and Uranus. And the reason they talks about real estate is Uranus deals with real estate as well. So whenever you're looking at the Queen of Spades and Mercury, you're looking at a contract deal, you're looking at real estate. If you didn't know, now you know. This may be the time to let go of some of those things that have been doing to make way for which is coming. So you got to let something go to gain anything with that type of spread. So just getting beat up, 8 of spades and Neptune. I'm not laughing at his pain, I promise. I'm laughing at the cards. This period can bring success in management of foreign distant interests. This is also a good influence for travel of any kind, especially business related. Must be careful with your emotions under this influence. 8 of spades have emotional issues. It's not me, it's the cards. If they are allowed to interfere in your business, you could suffer losses. Also says that because of the Neptune effect of the 8 of spades. But if you look at it from a cardology standpoint, where does the 8 of spades sits? It sits in Neptune. Best to keep your personal feelings out of the way during this period and take advantage of opportunity for success. So, yeah, it was just a rough time for your boy. It was kind of no escaping the karma for Diddy at 55. It's like Judgment Day is here. How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to deal with it? So yeah, that's kind of where he was. Who else I said I was going to look at? Cash Doll. I think she just had a breakup. March 14th. I love a Pisces. I ain't gonna lie. I have a little soft area in my heart for Pisces. My wife may be a Pisces. I have a soft heart for Pisces, y'all. I don't know why. Sometimes I shouldn't, because they can be that Neptune. That can be deceiving, but I don't know. It's just a happy-go-lucky energy I get from them sometimes. My best times have been with Pisces, literally. And Cash Doll is one of my. I am a guy, but I love the sound of a woman's voice, especially when she sounds confident in rapping. I don't mind it. Lady London, she has a soft heart, a soft spot for me too. Is Lady London a Pisces? Nah, she's a Cancer. Still the same type of effect though. My mom's a Cancer, so um, March 14th, and she's a 5. I'm June the 14th, so we got that in common. She's 36. Just looking at the breakup and the relationship for her. I'm not going to go too much into her cards. So she's 36 and she just turned 36 this year, right? So she was in a relationship. And what is her card? March the 14th. That is the March 9th is the Ace of Spades. March 14th would be, I don't know all the cards by heart, but I do not calculate them. If you want to give me, I may give you that clue later on. You can calculate the card's birthday if you know the month and the day and the solar value. You can calculate what card it is. If you know the solar value, you have the month and the day. You can calculate the cards just by math. But that may be, I'll save that for another day. I knew she was a 9 of diamonds. I'm tripping. That may be why too, because the Queen of Diamonds, 9 of Diamonds, all kind of surround me. With that Queen of Diamonds being my support card. 9 of Diamonds at 36, Cash Doll. Okay, so she has a King of Hearts. Interesting. Very interesting. Because she's dealing with men at this particular problems, and she having baby daddy issues. I don't know if this is her first child or that was her first child with the Tracy T guy. But the King of Hearts represents baby daddy issues. I'm looking at last year as well because she got into that relationship last year and it just ended. So let's look at 35, which is the 9 of Spades, letting go of certain things, letting go of people, who aren't any good for you, right? Letting go of habits that you may have. What she did let go of a lot of things. She kind of talked about her not rapping, changing her career, and all of those things. So I feel like she was in the cleansing type of period. 9 of Spades can incite a cleansing, a transformation on your life personally, which it was, I think, was triggered by the man that she was with. So there was an influence around her. Like I was saying, the 9 of Clubs, 9 of Spades deals with the influences around you as well. So she had the King of Hearts challenging who she was and her identity, her not wearing makeup, and her wearing makeup was a big deal. And the 7 of Hearts, being self-conscious of how she was seen in public as well. 7 of Hearts especially deals with your reflection of how you're seen, being self-conscious about your looks, being self-conscious about your diet. That's why it's also considered one of the cards that speaks about your diet and your health, because of, and so her public image, I think she was probably, self-conscious about and really wanting to display herself or have herself seen in a different type of way. Dr. Sebi is the 7 of Hearts, so I wouldn't be surprised if she started eating different as well at that particular age or at that particular time of last year. Where was I going? 9 of Hearts. 9 of Diamonds deals with the King of Hearts. I was talking about the baby daddy. It was a challenge here. So that could have been, I hate to say it, but sometimes your past can interfere with your new relationship. So I wouldn't be surprised if that relationship with Tracy T and the King of Hearts being the challenge could also have been challenging her current relationship. So yeah, the baby daddy arguments, disputes with men, arguments with men at 36. Two of clubs can be debates. Sometimes you just want to walk away and be the bigger man or the bigger woman. Sometimes certain conversations aren't worth it. This can be running from the conversation or taking the conversation head on. And two of clubs can be one of the two. Some of them may want to play the background, may not want to talk, may not want to be seen, but there's going to be some type of conversation that they will have in their own comfort. Just depends on how big or how motivated they are having a conversation. Two of clubs can represent a tough conversation, as well. So there could have been some tough conversations, some hard conversations that kind of took place, and also men with the King of Hearts. But this right here, and this right here. So the Five of Hearts and Mercury, as you all know, can be breakups. It can be you moving away from family, friends. It can be relocation as fives, as we was talking about earlier with my Five of Spades, right? Or it can Five of Hearts. A lot of times people would call it the divorce card. So that is in Mercury. She is March. So she's probably more in the Six of Diamonds, Ace of Spades period, right, for herself currently, possibly. But there could have been these conversations and that fear of something, her breaking up or moving and traveling. It can also mean traveling as well, possibly. The six Mercury, Venus sometimes, a Saturn, Venus. So there could have been restrictions around traveling that she could have ran into, but overcame, maybe if she took the whole family type of situation. But definitely traveling, divorce, or family or disputes. I can just be seen from the start. And that Ace of Hearts and Pluto is the kicker right there for her at 36. If I was giving her a reading, I would have said something is going to happen that's going to change your relationship, either something new within this relationship or a separation possibly could happen with that Ace of Hearts. Either you're going to have to change the way you speak, the way you talk, and the way that you speak about relationships, family, love. You're going to have to change all those particular things if you want to save this particular relationship, because that Ace of Hearts is not going to play with you in Pluto, right? And especially 9, 10, 11, 12, King of Hearts is your emotional control. With the King of Hearts, 9 of Diamonds is her emotional control. 9 of Diamonds are feisty. They'll cuss you out. They don't play. I don't know if you know any 9 of Diamonds, but they don't play. I like water signs. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, the 9 of Diamonds will cuss you out. When there's confidence in themselves, they just don't play. Reason they don't play, they have the Two of Clubs and the King of Clubs. They think they know it all sometimes. They just know it all, even if they don't have the best conversation or the best education. They're gonna learn it. They're gonna want to learn it. They're not gonna shy away from the conversation. Kanye West is a 9 of Diamonds. They're in Mars, Uranus. That is a cuss out. Mars, Uranus. That you don't want to play with that type of energy. So for her, it could have been her emotional control as well, dealing with her emotions and transforming into that King of Hearts, learning how to deal with those emotions. They say women don't handle kings and tell them to vibrate as queens, but okay. Try. Okay. Good luck with that. Okay. Because when you know and you feel like you have a sense of authority, a sense of confidence, you're going to be looked at as that king, not nothing that you can really shy away from or control. Is just going to be that for you. You're going to step into that. And men can be intimidated. I sometimes I do contradict myself. I'd be like, there's men are not intimidated by women, but yeah, they can be. I do have to admit, men can definitely be intimidated by a woman, but that's also because a woman's mouth can control a man's emotions. So that intimidation comes from the fear of belittling them. That intimidation comes from you think you know more than me, so you know what I mean, you want to little boy me in a sense. So it has to come with. That's why they say come with it from a queen's perspective when you're dealing. I think especially when you're dealing with relationships, trying to draw back that king, not taking away your power, but knowing how to finesse it in a loving, more nurturing type of aspect, right? Kings are off with your head. They don't care about your feelings. That is why it's kind of hard for women to play men's role, because men, honestly, we're a little less heartless. We run from our emotions more than a woman would. So you want to gravitate and have that nurturing complex or that standpoint whenever you're speaking, especially if you're a king. That's why you want to play into the queen role as a woman. It's just a play of nurturing. So it's psychological. It's not saying to downgrade your power, but knowing how to finesse it and come from a more nurturing standpoint where someone may not be intimidated, right? But again, non-dominance, Mars, Uranus, you know how Kanye West get. So, but in a Pisces, what? That's a mouth of a sailor, right? So, and from Detroit, I can only imagine. Some people may find that attractive. I don't know. I don't know if people in Detroit, they may find that attractive. I'm from the South. I don't find that too attractive. But yeah. But anyways, and also she has the ace of spades. So there was a partnership. Let's say she moved in with someone. There was a sense of compromise, promises. She may have been also holding somebody else's to their promises and to the new life that she desired. So this is all about her desires, what she desired in her relationship, what she desired in a partnership. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. So a lot of times Jupiter is looked at as the husband, right? So there were certain desires that she had and within her relationship, but there's also with that, you got to look at the compromise and the promises that you have and the promises that you made as well, right? Keeping your word about certain things. But there's definitely would have been something new that would have came out of that. But that Ace of Hearts and Pluto, that kind of that was kind of tough for her at this particular moment. But like I said, don't listen to me. Let's see what Robert Camp says. What spread were we on? 36. So first thing I want to look at Ace of Hearts and Pluto. Getting your affectional needs met would be a major issue for you this year. Again, like I was talking about earlier, that Ace of Hearts can make you feel lonely. So that's a tough card to hold. Even it can make you. A lot of people who are really emotional are gonna even it's one of those cards that's hard to satisfy you. She may have been hard to satisfy. So getting your affectional needs met will be a major issue for you this year, one that motivates you to make adjustments in your life to create new relationships. This is a strong desire for affection present, whether it is directed towards one person who might be your result card, or just towards finding a special person you can share your love with. It is certain that you will be making some changes in your life this year in order to see some results in this area. So the this is an important year for you emotionally. You may have just ended a time where your love life was unsatisfactory in one or more ways. You now realize that you have to do something if you are to create new or better relationships in your life. And all your zest for love and friendships, be careful not to overdo it or expect too much from others. Like I said, over expecting, especially that two of diamonds, ace of spades. Remember that everyone does not have the exact same needs that you do, are not in the exact same situation. Their needs may be different, and their level or desire for love may not be the same level of intensity as yours, especially the Ace of Hearts. So she could have been putting a lot of pressure on her partner, to meet the things, and like I said, those promises that were made. What was the other one? The Five of Hearts and Mercury was the biggest clue. This period could be marked by sudden changes in your feelings or sudden move away from loved ones. The travel, separations, changes could bring emotional turmoil and insecurity during this period. Watch out for a tendency towards fickleness that goes along with the influence. At the same time, you may be able to meet a lot of new, interesting people during this period. Some of them can end up as romantic partners. So that was kind of change, there. It has a Six of Hearts there as well, that they could get back together possibly, right? She's in her Mars period right now, Six of Diamonds. So she has a whole year still kind of within this energy. Aquarius kind of teaches and talks about that Mercury and some of this energy lingering. She has the Three of Diamonds, Six of Hearts there. But being at the crossroads about her relationship with the Six of Hearts and past relationships. This influence may bring fluctuations and indecisions about romantic involvements, and it's what that kind of speaks to. And the last one we'll look at is Clarissa Shields. There's been a lot going on with her, right? March 17th, another Pisces. Pisces off the chain this year, right? She's 30, and she's young, pretty young. And she is a Six of Diamonds, right? Where's her card at? She must be in the sun, no. Okay. She's displacing the Three of Clubs. What's Remy Mars? I want to see. Let's see if Remy is in her spread this shit. I'm being messy, right? My bad. Remy is May the 30th. She's a Gemini. Wrong way. So she's a Two of Clubs. Oh, that's why Remy can't shut up. They said she had a quiet at that boxing match though, but Remy is a debater, especially coming from New York. I can see the issues. I definitely understand now. You're not going to tick for tat with the Gemini Two of Clubs. Stop it. That is the last person that you want to go back and forth with. Anybody from New York, you got it. You got it. I do not want the smoke. I promise you I do not want that smoke. You won. Anything you want to argue about, you got it. I'm not. They say pick your battles wisely. I'm not going back and forth with nobody from New York. It's a wrap. Y'all got it. Y'all grew up in the smoke. What Cam Newton said, I'm a muffler. I was made for the smoke. That is New York. They were made for the smoke. That is not nothing that I want for real. Yeah, somebody said that Nine of Diamonds will have some choice words for you. Yeah, for sure. They will try to rip the breath out your chest. I'm telling you. I think you're talking about the nine of diamonds. I don't know if you were. But the six of diamonds and the three of clubs. So the ace of hearts. So she feeling the love. She feeling the love right now. What else? Let's see about. I don't know when her and Papoose been talking for a while, but I'm gonna look at last year just at glance. 29 is a crazy year. I ain't gonna lie to you. 29 is one of the toughest years to go through for everybody. You have a nine of spades, losses, ace of spades, new beginnings, ambitions. You can feel very confident and going after what you want, which could have been what she was feeling. I feel like around that time period, like she had high hopes, high desires around that time period, as far as what I seen with the six of diamonds. And then also she has the king of diamonds as well. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and she has the king of hearts. So she was all about her man last year. My man, my man, my man, my man. But definitely have to watch out for the jack of spades and Venus, because people talked about her being used and maybe being blind in love. And it's displacing the four of clubs. That's why you got to know the spreads, because the four of clubs has the jack of spades, and the jack of spades displacing the four of clubs. That's blind in love. My man, my man, my man. Blinded by love. It was nothing else she was seeing. That man could have told her that he was going to get her a Ferrari next year and had $0 in her bank account, and she would have fell for it. That is falling for deceit. So, but I'm just reading the cards. But that's what the jack of spades and Venus is very tricky. You definitely don't want to watch yourself as far as relationships if you have a jack of spades in Venus a lot of times. But Mercury, Venus, and the king of hearts and Jupiter, so putting her man on a pedestal, right, is definitely was her energy from just last year, treating him and taking him in like a king. And he has a jack of spades. If he was deceiving her, he came in at the perfect time. I ain't gonna lie to you. If this is, what people think it is, this is the perfect time, because she is blinded by love. Six of diamonds at 29. Watch out for relationships. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not the best time for relationships, but just be careful with who you get in a relationship with. And I'm pretty sure she spent some money on them too. Yep, I'm pretty sure. Nine of diamonds, Mars, two of diamonds. Yeah, she definitely spent some money. But anyways, at 30 for her. Oh yeah, and where's the two of clubs for her in this spread? It's displacing the seven of clubs. So yeah, Remy Ma would have been talking shit about her. She was her worst enemy as far as the public in the public eye. Seven of clubs, she was her opposition as far as anything that she could have said. There's nothing that she could have said that would have made Remy Ma say she got it. Nothing. Six of diamonds. Where's the six of diamonds? Displacing the three of clubs. So here, she has the ace of hearts. She was blindly in love last year. She has the ace of hearts this year. She wasn't really at the crossroads. I wouldn't say she was at the crossroads in this relationship based upon me knowing her energy. But the ace of hearts and Mercury is just her talking about her relationships. And if it's not, it's looking towards the future, I would say, with three of spades there. That could have been indecision, possibly on what to do, around like finances. But with her being a six of diamonds, I think she isn't really challenged based upon her energy. It's more of her trusting her friends and the people that's around her at work, her new relationships, management, and those type of people with the ace of hearts and Mercury as well, right? So here I would say, if she's looking to go and get under new management, or she's looking to add new people to her business, just be careful, making sure she's looking over any new contracts that she may have. But definitely the relationships and being on a high horse and just having that, what they call that honeymoon type of feeling as well, of trying to figure out where she want to go and how she wants to kind of plan out her future. And also, making sure all her ducks in a row as far as financially around her relationships should be important for her. But the Three of Clubs is also her writing as well, possibly writing those things out, and manifesting the manifesting time period. I wouldn't say money is much of a challenge, but Three of Clubs is hard work, is working her butt off as far as getting what she desires, as far as financially. It could have been financial changes for the better side, or her not feeling like she's getting paid, or trying to get a bigger payday or paycheck, but also working her butt off with that Mars Saturn. Kobe is a Three of Clubs, getting almost no sleep because you're thinking about the payday with that Five of Diamonds, right? Or looking at the financial changes. She might have spent some money last year, right? So this is her making up for that time period and looking at those financial changes, and could possibly feel like she's on a roller coaster as well, right? Five of Diamonds, see that it's like a roller coaster of finances, money going in, money coming out. But that Nine of Clubs there, checking your contracts, making sure that everything is okay financially. You may have to let go of some things to gain a bigger payday, um, with that Nine of Clubs. The Nine of Clubs is definitely a contracts. It can be law sometimes as well. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. It's in Jupiter. So it could be, she could be protected in those areas, what they say as far as what Jupiter is. So it could be some financial protection around her fights, and her getting what she ultimately desire and feeling like, I finally made it. I'm where I want to be. So nines, a lot of times look at it from a negative time, but also it can be a graduation. It could have been a learning time period for her, as far as learning that she may have to pay for advertisement, pay for promotions to get what she really wants. So it could have been money going out, but ultimately it's going out for a bigger payout or a payday. But Nine of Hearts, we talk about a lot of times a death, a loss in the relationships, but she has the Ace of Hearts, Nine of Hearts, and the King of Hearts. So it could have been some confidence overcoming the challenges of the Nine of Hearts as well. Like I said, putting people on a pedestal, a lot of talk around her relationships and the man that she's with as well, and maybe defending him in public. So she could have been defending the man that she's with, that King of Hearts, or the men around her. It can also represent her father, her dad. I don't know if she had conversations around that. There could have been conversations, around her upbringing, her parents, and those things as well at this particular time. I feel like she has a strong King of Hearts presence. The Six of Diamonds, child life. Childhood is very important. They go through a lot of things in childhood. And actually, the Ace of Hearts represents childhood. So there could have been some things around childhood and some old things from the past that came up for her as well. They have a Ace of Hearts in Saturn. So there can be some traumatizing things for the Six of Diamonds as well that happens in their childhood that can make it a little rough. So she could have been speaking about her childhood, actually, because that's in her natural spread. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Yeah, that's her Saturn card. So it could be conversations about her early life and childhood and those particular things, and the karma and just principles and those things that happen for her this year. Especially with the Queen of Hearts, with her femininity, Queen of Clubs with her, some people see her as masculine, but her coming out and looking more feminine and being more feminine as well later on down the year. That side of her could change, that us seeing a different side of her, something that we may not have seen previously for her as well. Her being more creative, maybe getting someone to style her, or more creative designer, the Ace of Spades with changes, getting some powerful women, some women to kind of help her out. But also Ace of Spades, Queen of Spades, maybe some things around her health changing as well, or around her personal image. Like I said, that Seven of Hearts and Ace of Spades is dealing with your image, how you're seen a lot of times. So it can come with insecurity, or it can come with changing those insecurities or using it for as your how can I say it? Something that aids you in a way, right? With those particular changes, but definitely changes around her own personal image and how she looked and her health possibly. It could be for the better though, right? Ace of Spades, Queen of Spades, her getting help with those particular things and getting help with those changes. And I say that with her public image because the 10 of diamonds is there. And that Uranus Mercury with news and those changes. But definitely her and her being the mom, and even those questions possibly. I said previously, the Queen of Hearts and Neptune can represent parenting, especially for women. Definitely want to watch out with being or getting pregnant. So that could be something coming up with her as far as pregnancy later on. But Three of Hearts, Jack of Diamonds, if there's anything around relationships or insecurities or questions that could come up later on, possibly that could be news, but also maybe her traveling as well, dealing with different people of different ethnicities and foreign interests, or there could be some foreign interests with her as well. But yeah, that's. But if there's anybody else that you all want to look at next year, her Saturn for life is the Ace of Hearts. Yep. If there's any, let's look at the chat. Remy is an Ace of Clubs. Two of Clubs. Yeah, two of Clubs. Remy already said Papoose is not financially solid, dude. Most people think he is. Yeah. So yeah, definitely that her spending money and with him or on him, he came at the perfect time. But not to say that he can't support her, but that is some very, so that timing was everything for him right there. And she got the Three of Diamonds. They're just tricking off for somebody. I ain't gonna lie to you. That Three of Diamonds on mine because they feel obligated. Six of Hearts, Three of Diamonds have a lot of karma with relationships, a responsibility around relationships. A lot of them can take on that responsibilities. We look at them, Diddy, Polite, Trump, they've all have been in media for paying for the women around them. I'm not guilty. I promise I'm not guilty. But yeah, I've spent some money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am guilty as charged. I have spent money on my significant other, and they might not have been in the best financial position, but there's this emotional responsibility, and Three of Diamonds have the King of Hearts, so it's like this need or this feeling to be the man that takes care of it, to be the protector, right? That is our result card, and with the King of Diamonds, so you want to feel like you got it, and you want to take responsibility of those people that you love, so. Don't y'all go out there taking advantage of Three of Diamonds now, just because I told y'all that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, we did do Cash Doll. Yeah, we did talk about Cash Doll. She has some interesting cards, but so I'm gonna end it so you can go back and watch what she had. She had some interesting cards. She had some baby daddy issues for sure. But I'll catch y'all next week. I probably want to do these during the week sometime. Have my Sundays. I may just journal on Sundays. And that journal can be, I guess, summaries of what we may see or talk about the week. And y'all DM me. Let me know anything that you all want to look at coming up as well. But I'll see y'all to be announced as far as the particular date and time I may pick. And if y'all have questions or a day time period y'all think is best, I know I'm not going to be able to satisfy everybody, but I may meet y'all in the middle somewhere. But I'll see y'all later. Let me call Rashad. No, you better not. I can't help you. All right, I'll holler at y'all.